Hey guys, this is Devious Cosplay here with my first video showing you how I made my Black Armor Zero Gauntlet from Mega Man X4, but with some tweaks and battle damage. I've actually started this back in early 2018, but since then I've remade a few parts and want to show you how I did it. So let's get into it. For the main body of the gauntlet, I used a dragon egg template that I got on punishprops.com, which I then scaled up about 110%. I cut off 3 inches off the top and 1.75 inches off the bottom and traced it over to 6mm foam and cut it out with my utility knife. After cutting out each piece, I used my heat gun to heat up the foam and then place it over my styrofoam dome to shape it. After heat forming my foam pieces, I apply contact cement on each of them and wait until they get tacky to the touch, and then I'm able to assemble them together. After assembling all the pieces, I test fit it on my arm to make sure everything is nice and snug. For the upper portion of the gauntlet, I made a quick template, which I then transfer onto 10mm foam and just cut it out. After cutting out the upper portion of this gauntlet, I apply the contact cement on the end of it and wait till it gets tacky, and then I'm able to put these two pieces together. With this portion completed, I place it over a sheet of paper, trace the inner circle to use as a cap for my arm to go through. With this circle cut out, I trace another circle on the inside, wide enough to get my hand through. And now just a quick test fit on my arm just to see if I like the overall design, and it's fitting pretty nicely. I like it. Now for the decorative piece that's on the end of Zero's gauntlet, I made a quick template, traced it over 6mm foam, and cut it out. I cut a trench into both of these pieces just by making an angled cut on both sides of that line. You're gonna have to forgive the quality here. I didn't get any of my equipment in time, but I wanted to get some footage done, so we're gonna have to look past it. Just pretend you don't see it. I did an angled cut on both of these cut pieces just to give it a more flush look once it all gets glued down. After cutting, I use my heat gun to help shape these pieces, and then from there, I use my contact cement and glue these two pieces together. And this is what I came up with after the assembly. After that, I apply my contact cement on both pieces, the trim and the upper gauntlet, and just wait for it to get tacky again and join them together. Right here, I'm trying to get my trim piece along the guided line that I made for myself to make sure everything gets on as straight as I can possibly get it, so everything looks nice and neat in the end. And the next part is to join both of these pieces. Apply a generous amount of contact cement, and while it's still wet, that's where I put them together. I didn't want these to be sticking after it's already set up for a while, so I wanted to be able to kind of make sure everything's going to sit well and just let it set up while it's all together. And this is how it looks once it's all assembled. For this next part, I did sand down the seams just a little bit. I didn't go too crazy and try to completely hide them. I just didn't really care too much about that. But I did want to get the bulk of it down just to give it a cleaner look. After sanding, I move on to my favorite stage, Plasti Dip. I apply 3 layers. The first layer I do apply a bit light, and then from there I just move on a bit heavier just to make sure I get complete coverage. After the Plasti Dip has set, I did paint the bottom half black, and I moved on to the upper half with a nice bright silver. After letting the paint dry, I removed the tape and paper shield. I've actually done some weathering on this gauntlet after this, which you will not be able to see, unfortunately, since that file did get corrupted. But basically, I did use some silver rubbing buff to go over some edges and just add on a few scratches, and just go on top of that with some black shoe polish to add on the dirty look. And this is my completed gauntlet. Thank you all for watching my video on how I made Zero's Gauntlet. I do plan on releasing a few more videos since I am remaking a few parts. So the next video will be how I made Zero's boots. So if you're interested in catching any of those, stay tuned and those videos will be coming out pretty soon. Until then, y'all stay safe and y'all take care.